My ex-wife got a divorce and went on vacation with her lover because she thought she could still get money from my parents' big trust fund. This time, though, she got sued. Hey there, my name is Ethan and I'm 30M. I'm going to try writing it all down here. For as long as I can remember, my friends have been my friends because they call me the trust fund baby. They always tried to get close to me because they thought I would be giving tons of fancy parties all over the world and paying for the alcohol at those parties. But I was nothing like that, so they always broke up with me. Yes, my parents have a big trust fund for me, but I know how hard they worked to get it. I also know that the wealth didn't happen overnight and that one mistake could ruin my dad's business for good. That's why I work hard every single day. I work hard to build on what my father started, but I almost made that one mistake recently with Mia, the love of my life, and my wife, Mia, 28F. I didn't date anyone in college. It's not my style to hook up or date people on the side. Anyone I dated before I got married was the wrong kind of person when word got out that my parents were rich. In other words, when you have money, everyone wants to live off of you. Some of my friends borrowed money from me and I bought them drinks once in a while, but nothing fancy or what people would expect from a trust fund baby. I think that doing things in balance isn't bad and is even important because you need to be a part of society. I tried to get along with everyone, but I didn't trust many people. It was at my graduation party that I met Mia. She didn't seem to know me, so I started chatting with her in a friendly way. Right away, we hit it off. We gave each other our phone numbers and went on a great first date. I took her to McDonald's and they loved it. I fell in love with her even though the first date wasn't very fancy. Mia was my first love. She wasn't dull, and she didn't try too hard to impress me. She was just being herself. She was also very smart. I felt normal around her, and I got an impression that was worth more than my money. When I took her to meet my parents after dating her for a month, she didn't seem shocked at all. She just seemed to accept that I was rich. That made me feel good because it meant my money didn't bother her at all. At the time, it didn't occur to me that she probably wasn't shocked because that was part of her plan from the start. She knew who I was and that I wasn't dating anyone, so her plan to win me over was very well thought out. When she met with my parents, she looked very classy. I fell in love with her right away because she was so cute. I brought her home as the first girl ever. My family was thrilled about me. They were together for a year, and I never gave her any expensive gifts during that time. The only reason she said no was that we weren't married yet. After a year, I asked her to marry me. My parents thought she was the nicest person ever. She only wanted one thing from my parents, that they never ask her to quit her job because she wanted to work to make our family rich. My mom gave her a hug and told her they were happy I had found a helpful wife. Mia made a good amount of money at her job in an IT company. My parents threw a party for our second wedding anniversary. They told me there that they wanted to give Mia a gift and suggested that her name be added as a recipient along with mine. They met everyone and introduced Mia to them, even the guardian Jack. In his job for the company, he was an accountant who made sure that the money and investments were legal. He was married and had a daughter. His wife worked as a lawyer at the same company. My wife was named as one of the recipients, so everything was taken care of. My parents and Mia got along great, and she always did her best to make them happy. She worked hard and went on many trips for her job. I found out later that she was going with the man she was seeing. When my parents had a party, she was always excited to go and look beautiful. At these kinds of parties, I've seen her talking to Jack in a corner while laughing a little too hard and blushing. She was holding a glass of wine. I was so stupid and in love that I never once thought to think that she might be having an affair with Jack. All this time, though, these two were seeing each other rather than me. I'm surprised at Mia now that I think about it. She is a professional actress. She was so nice to all of us that the thought of ever suspecting her seemed like a sin, but she was just waiting. There were almost 7 years between the deaths of my parents. They died 6 months apart. At that point, I became completely absorbed in my work because it was too hard to handle all the feelings while also running the business. That was the first time in years that Mia showed her true colors. She wasn't close to anyone after the funeral. I tried to give her space because I thought she might be dealing with her sadness in her own way. She didn't ask me how I was or say anything about my parents' deaths. Also, I felt bad about not being able to talk about how I felt, even though I thought it was strange. It took me about 2 weeks to decide to leave work early and talk to Mia about it. On my way back, I bought a bunch of pink roses. Since I had my own key, I walked in and saw Jack. Because I didn't understand, I asked him if he was here to talk about the trust. Mia came around the back with 2 bags. That's when I saw that Jack had 2 bags too. Mia told me, "Oh, dang. I was going to be quiet about this. Thought I'd leave you a note to let you know I'm leaving, but I guess we'll have to do it in person now." "Okay, fine. I'm leaving you." "Yeah, you heard that right. I'm moving in with Jack after our trip to Italy is over. I will be able to pay for it because your parents made sure of that. We're also getting a divorce. Jack is going to do the same thing. Don't look like a sad puppy, please. Do you want those flowers from me?" "I'll take them. Thanks. Goodbye." They left before I could tell her to wait. I heard the engine revving up, and then there was quiet. My wife of 7 years had just left me. Have you ever heard the phrase, "The world is falling apart in front of you"? That's the best way to describe how I felt. I didn't leave the house for 2 days. The blinds weren't open by me. I was eating cold food and then cup noodles to stay alive. I was afraid of being alone without the TV on. I didn't even want to take a bath. Someone rang the doorbell on the 3rd day. I thought that they would leave on their own if I didn't open the door, but that didn't happen. Someone kept ringing the bell, and each time they did it, they pressed it harder and longer. The phone kept ringing for 10 minutes. The door was being banged on by someone. A woman spoke to me and said, "I know you're in there. Let yourself go." "Now, I'm not going until we talk." I thought it was Mia for a moment, but then I remembered that she was on vacation with Jack in Italy. This thought made me feel sad all over again, but the banging and knocking wouldn't stop, so I dragged myself out of bed and began to open the door. When I opened the door, I saw a woman with red hair wearing a 2-piece suit. It looked like she was going to bite my head off. She told him, "Your wife left you for my husband. Being a wimp here won't help anyone, so get up, take a bath, and come back in 15 minutes. A lot of things need to be talked about." She let herself in, looked me straight in the eye and said, "What?" when I didn't answer. "You smell bad." And before I went to the bathroom, I told my mom, "Okay." She screamed back, "I heard that." In spite of myself, I laughed. After my bath, I felt a little more human. When I went back to the living room and kitchen, they were both clean. Olivia, who was married to Jack, introduced herself. Her excuse for calling me at work for 2 days straight was that she couldn't get through, so she finally chose to come to my house. She meant business. What she told me made no sense to me. Olivia told me that she too didn't think Jack was cheating on her. She found out when he left the house 2 days ago and said he would send his helper to get the rest of his things. Like me, her world was destroyed, but she didn't feel sorry for herself. So she dug in the ground. She looked through Jack's laptop first. He kept work stuff there, but he was also logged into Facebook. She quickly went through his chats to find out who he was seeing, and as soon as she was sure, she swooped in like a hawk. She had read everything that had to do with my trust fund and was pretty sure that Jack was taking money out for himself. At first, it was small enough that no one noticed, but over time, he became careless and bold because one of the recipients, Mia, was helping him. I wanted her to be lying, but she wasn't. Olivia was ready to take them down because she had all the information she needed. Olivia told me, "I have a little daughter," and I was still not sure. "It's going to cost Jack a lot of money, and I'm going to wreck Mia. It doesn't matter what you think. I just wanted to let you know. You can choose not to take part if you don't want to." I knew I could trust this woman right away because of how driven and sure of herself she was, so I was on board. We shook hands. We were making plans that would cost my ex-wife a lot of money while she was on vacation in Italy. Jack and Mia were back from their 10-day trip to Italy. Olivia and I were waiting for their call because we were interested in how they would respond when she told them the truth. They called me on Monday while I was at work. It was Mia. She went on a rant as soon as I picked up the phone. "What the hell is going on? What does Jack mean when he says we're in trouble? Also, where is my money?" I asked. "Do you mean the money from my parents that Jack used to buy you gifts? And probably the apartment you moved into? I hope my lawyer got back to you. This is Olivia, Jack's wife, who also works for the company." Before she could say anything, I hung up after telling her I had to go. When I got off work that day, Mia was already there. Like I didn't see her, I walked toward my car, but she got in the way. I've known her for a long time and have never seen her so upset about something. She asked me to explain things to her because Jack's tense account of what happened wasn't making sense to her. She wanted to hear it from me in simple terms. When I told her I had heard from her lawyer about the divorce, all she said was that she wasn't going to get any money. Oh no, the way she looked. In her wildest thoughts, she had no idea that this would happen. I could tell she was getting more and more scared. I felt sadistic pleasure one moment and then felt terrible guilt for putting her in that position the next. I still cared about her, and seeing someone you love hurt is pretty hard. I had to leave quickly so she couldn't use her power over me. I walked past her and made my way to my car. From behind, I could hear her scream. I had to stop, she told me. I thought, how could you do this to me? Right before I got in the car. It hurt like a stab, and I really wanted to lash out by telling her I could ask her the same damn question. But I got in my car and drove off. In the rearview mirror, I could see her completely confused as she looked after the car. While this was going on, Jack was told he was being fired from his job because he was hurting the company's image. Apparently, word got out, and many clients called to ask to end their contracts. So the company could only fire Jack as a way to fix the problem. Olivia knew a lot of lawyers and was able to find the best one for her. She was sure she would win the case and get control. Olivia was giving me all of these reports as I drove back home. I felt a lot better. I wrote this when I got home. I was very antsy after talking to Mia, and I wanted to let out my frustration. Do you guys think Mia is getting too much from me? To be honest, Aita? Hi everyone, this is Update 1. I'll be back with news soon. It's been a week. Thanks for being there for me and helping me out when I was really lost. When I went to see my first therapist, I showed him this Reddit post. He told me it would help me deal with things. He told me it was normal to miss the person you lost, in this case Mia. That's why I felt so overwhelmed after I dropped the bomb. I will try to give you a brief outline of what happened this week. Mia called me once more. Her tone had changed this time. It sounded like she had been crying because her voice was soft. She asked me if I was full. She asked, "Do you want me to come over and cook it for you?" When I said no, I was shocked. She then told me she would be at my house in 30 minutes, so I think she thought my silence meant I agreed. I finally spoke up and said no. "You won't though. Are you joking? You want to come here, make me dinner, and play house after all you've done?" "Babe, no," she cooed. "I know things have been rough, but let's talk." I was on edge at that time. At this point, I think I yelled and went, "Bad. You think what you did was wrong?" "Not good at all. It was bad. It was mean and cowardly. Don't bother you. I don't want to see your face ever again. What's wrong with you?" What she said next made me sick to my stomach. She told me not to worry too much. That event changed my life, I believe. It had been eating away at me that I had hurt her, but now I saw her fair face. A woman who would do what she did again in a moment and wouldn't feel bad about it at all. The call was an attempt to control me, a trap. She didn't know that I knew what she was saying and kept saying that I was making her look like a gold digger in the case, which wasn't true because she was making money and had a job. I wanted to point out that I had paid off all of her student loans. So if she was now living comfortably, it was because of me and my family. She told me that the only reason she wanted to come over was to talk and get back together, and that she thought my lawsuit was pointless. "What about Jack?" was something I had to ask. She told him that Jack was just a different person, and she was seeing him because he made her life less boring. She then said I was to blame because I was at work and wasn't there for her. She told me that her relationship with Jack was emotional, but mine wasn't. Instead of saying sorry, I meant to sue her. This was the point where I was sure she was trying to hurt my ears. I told her that she could have talked to me about her problems, or we could have gone to marriage therapy if she was really upset. Cheating was never the answer. She changed the subject and started to press on, coming over. I hung up and called Olivia. I told her what took place. Olivia told me to call her again and tell her to come over. She also said she would come over. I agreed to play along to find out what her real goal was. I ended my call with Olivia and called Mia. The way she spoke when she picked up was so cocky. She told me she'd be there in 30 minutes because she knew I would be there. Olivia showed up before Mia did. I didn't understand her plan because she didn't have time to explain it. She went inside and told me to make Mia sit down in the dining room. Olivia told everyone that she would be in this story in a special way. When Mia showed up 40 minutes later, it was clear that she had taken the time to look nice. She looked good. She came in, kissed me, and then went to the bedroom to find Olivia. I stopped her and told her to sit down in the dining room. She snarled at me and asked, "But why, sweetheart? How quickly did I lose my right? Was your love so weak? Will you not fight for us, sweetheart?" Olivia came out of the bedroom at this point. Mia was so shocked that she couldn't say anything. She croaked something like, "What the hell?" Olivia gave Mia a smile and said, "Ah, we finally meet. The woman who is seeing my cheating husband, Jack, who is never useful. Also, you did lose the right to the bedroom." Mia swung around and asked, "How could you switch me out so easily? After taking away all my happiness, you're now sleeping with Jack's wife. We owed a lot of money and won't even get the trust fund money. No one knows who told anyone, but Jack has lost his job. I could also lose my job. You're so self-centered." Olivia spoke up and asked, "What do you mean we owe money? Is it like getting a joint loan? Were you helping Jack lose the money and take it out, or what?" Mia hit her. "Hell yeah, I was. I've always been there for Jack. Do you think he could have thought of that on his own? It's clear that I helped him. Unlike you mean Witch, who has been rude to him the whole time. That's why he picked me over you. Leave this place. Why are you here when your husband doesn't have a job? Why the hell don't you say something good about him and help him out?" After a sweet smile, Olivia told me she thought I should send Mia home. The work was finished. I knew what to do, so I held the door open for Mia. Mia stormed out and yelled obscenities at us as she did so. After she left, I looked at Olivia and asked, "What just happened?" Olivia stopped to tape and then gave me a wink. Her eyes were bright. She was very happy and said, "Ethan, we got a confession. We'll mess them up. I told you I wouldn't let them both get away. That's Olivia for you, my friends. She is smart and cruel. I would be scared of her if I were Mia and Jack. She's way too good at what she does." Olivia told everyone before she left that it was clearly her who had told everyone about Jack. I told her that her knowledge was making me smarter, and I was pretty sure that she had something to do with it. For now, guys, I'll keep you posted. The game is finally going to start. Update 2. I guess I'm back with an update too soon. I had to tell you guys right away, though. Olivia is a killer with no mercy. She sent Mia's company the tape and a long letter explaining what was going on. In the note, she said that someone who would lie to people who care about her that much wasn't trustworthy enough to work for the company and would probably try to steal money from them if she got the chance. The business partner in Mia's company that Olivia knew was an old friend of hers. Olivia's friend suddenly pulled out of a deal she was about to back, saying that she didn't trust some team members and that the deal was off the table. The news got to Mia's boss while he was totally killing himself. In order to keep the deal alive, they quickly fired the person who was to blame. Right there, my ex-wife is fired from her job. They both lost their jobs and are now in debt. Olivia told me that Jack kept calling her and texting her when she didn't answer. He was bothering her, so she blocked his number. What a great time this is now. My doctor says that Mia should be a case study of narcissism because she is so like me. That was kind of funny. It had been a long time since I laughed without holding back. Anyway, I'll let you know what's going on. Also, did I tell you that Jack was arrested? It turns out that Mia had to use her savings account to pay for his bail. LOL. It's their fault. Goodbye for now. Post 3. Olivia called me this morning. She was very angry. It turned out that Jack had been ringing her doorbell all morning. He was drunk and kept hurting her. The whole thing was caught on her security camera. He tried to break in when Olivia told him to leave. He left when Olivia said she would call the police. The worst thing about the whole thing was that Olivia and Jack's daughter Sophie woke up because of all the noise. She saw what was going on and is now deeply upset. Getting divorced is hard for kids in general, but seeing your dad show up drunk, yell at your mom, and try to break into the house is something else. Sophie won't leave her room since then. Olivia asked if I could come over because she needed to file a protection order at the police station. She needed a babysitter right away but couldn't find one. She asked me to call her back, so I did. I told them to call me if they needed anything. Olivia was already out the door when I got there. She told me to feed Sophie something if she came out because she hadn't had breakfast. I went to Sophie's room as soon as Olivia left. They didn't answer, so I got a pin and broke the lock. I don't know why, but that silence made me feel scared. I was picturing the worst things that could happen. I couldn't keep still while the child was in pain. There was no one in her room when I walked in, and I was hyperventilating. But then I saw a small movement. Sophie was tucked away under the bed. A 3 or 4-year-old girl with scary eyes looked at me. She looked a lot like her mom, except for her hair. Even though she was scared, she asked me if I knew her dad's friend and if Jack had sent me. I got down on my knees and said hello. She thought I was her dad, but I told her I was her mom's friend. After that, she seemed to calm down a bit. Then she looked out the window with worry and asked if her dad was still there. I told her he was because her mom was like a tiger and would do anything to protect her cub. She began to cry as she told me she was scared Jack would hurt her mom if he broke in. That would never happen, I told her. And it broke my heart for this sweet child who had lost her dad and seen what a bad person her dad was. I got her to come outside and watch her favorite Disney movie. I made pasta and fed it to her. Olivia told me that when she got home, Sophie was sleeping happily on my chest and I was drooling into her favorite pillow. Sophia grabbed my legs and wouldn't let go that night when I was about to leave. Finally, she told him that she was scared that Jack would show up again and no one would be there to protect her mom. When Olivia rolled her eyes at me, I stopped making fun of the fact that her mom didn't need protect. I chose to stay the night because it would be hard to explain a protection order to a child. It was nice and quiet for Sophie and me to sleep. Olivia made us delicious pancakes the next morning, and I went straight to work. She told me I had to come back to their house that night to sleep. Okay, I guess that's it for now. I have to stay at Olivia's house at night. As of right now, Olivia hasn't been able to find a good child counselor. You'll hear from me again after the first meeting. Goodbye. Change 4. Okay. Oh no, it's been a while since I last wrote to you, right? Okay, the first hearing is over. For someone like me who doesn't know much about this, Mia and Jack are completely cooked. Yes, I really mean it. The way they're cooked is like barbecue, brother. There is so much strong proof against them that it should be an open and shut case, but you know how courts work, so it will take a while. Olivia thinks it won't take more than 6 months. It's also her opinion that they will both end up in jail. Mia and Jack will not get any money from the split. Jack also needs to pay child support. Mia and Jack looked for work but couldn't find anything. I have news for you. Jack is working as a cleaner at a club close. We saw Jack getting beat up by some loan sharks outside the court. Things don't look good for that man. It's over for him. He ran to Olivia outside the court, fell at her feet and grabbed her. He begged her over and over to take him back. But we all know better now. Olivia's lawyer says the case is so strong for Olivia that Jack won't even be able to visit her.